Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with The Sopranos. Last time around we had house arrest, where basically, Tony was getting antsy. He was getting antsy. He didn't know what to do with himself. He couldn't adapt to anything. He had so many problems. He had panic attacks. He was getting stressed and everything. But then at the end, we kind of went to Tony in his natural environment. I don't know why the accent is coming through today, but it is. But we found Tony in his natural environment when he went back to the boys, and he was just hanging out with them, and it was... yeah, that was it. Junior was also a little antsy about his literal house arrest, but he met up with an old friend of his, and she was basically like, hey, if you're under house arrest, I'll bring by food, we'll watch a movie, we'll chill out. So Junior has also found his peace by the end of the episode. Meanwhile, the person who has not found peace is Dr. Melfi, who is starting to spiral because of her work with Tony. She's starting to drink more. She got into a quarrel, a feud at a restaurant, and things are not going well for her. But things are better for Tony and Junior, and well, hey, 2 out of 3. You can't win them all, I guess. So, that's pretty much where we left off. We might as well just jump right into this episode of The Sopranos. Here we go. This is an interesting start. What's happening? Who are these people? What's happening?
Beautiful, Julia, beautiful.
Okay, so they are real.
Richie's son is still flying down the Rio? Dad must be proud as punch.
He is.
Oh, it's Richie's son.
Jack, how's your rash? How you doing?
But Richie has multiple kids.
Jackie Aprile was a man who loved knowledge. When he was dying of cancer, he was praying his son would go to medical school. If he knew he dropped out of college, break his heart.
It didn't hurt the Beatles. Bill Gates. His Uncle Richie's looking out for him.
Oh, that's Jackie's kid, Jackie Jr. I'm not gonna learn about this family. It's too late. Hey, Tony, at least I don't gotta censor this one.
Maybe it's something you ought to think about.
What?
Finding somebody who can give you everything you want.
I told you he drives a fucking limo.
I'm talking about those kind of things. I'm talking about a family, marriage, children.
Oh, now he's concerned.
No, I don't want to find someone. I have you.
You might want to find someone.
Larry's had as much time as me to think about why he's under indictment, and some other people ain't.
What do you want me to do?
Go talk to Alley Boy. Feel him out. He's got tremendous moxie for his size.
Meh.
Tell me about it. He's a fighter.
Oh, he's got a peace offering today.
This engagement party for the sister? I'm gonna want to wire you up. I know you're sensitive.
Fuck that. What the fuck was I, his errand boy?
Satin, yeah.
Running all over, looking for his kid's science teacher's car. What the fuck is that?
Okay, he's really had a change of heart.
Fucking creep.
Who? Rich?
What happened?
I mean, look at him. He's always like this.
Come on, Richie.
Everybody,
Sylvia was the only one there enjoying himself.
I just wanted to share my happiness with everybody here. And I have been looking for my soulmate
Tony's fucking tall, man.
all of my life.
God bless.
Carm knows. After that whole big thing a couple episodes ago, and he did it again.
Jesus Christ, Reen.
I don't care no more what happened.
Don't say that shit. You got your whole life ahead of you.
So sorry, Tony.
The ambulance, emergency room. How's she gonna pay? You think they give her medical insurance at that department store she works in?
I'll take care of it.
What kind of life is there for me without you, Tony?
A better one. Any life without Tony Soprano is better.
Well, I'm doing it for Richie. I mean, he says he'd rather go to Vegas, but you gotta do the ritual thing, right? Oh, this is such
No, Vegas is legit.
All the flowers,
My parents
all
went
the
to Vegas.
excitement. You're depressed, aren't you? Depressed? Well, I leave that to others.
Meh.
I'm just being realistic. Because in a year, tops, you're gonna have to accept a Gumar. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, I'd like to see a Gumar that's gonna let him hold a gun to her head when they fuck. You let him hold a gun to your head during sex? Yeah, well, if that gets him off, I mean, it's not any different than garter belts and nurses' uniforms. Well,
Is it
it's a
loaded?
gun, Janice. I thought you were a feminist. Usually he takes the clip out. Well,
Usually.
Jesus, I hope so.
CW16?
Papacero, yeah. Fucking guy thinks I'm his friend now.
Meh.
I know we're not supposed to accept gifts, and I know poor people are going to get this, but I can't resist the lard bread.
He's turned some corner. 1 minute he's talking about how much he loves Tony Soprano, and in the next breath, he's a junior G-man. He's talking about RICO predicates and probable cause. All of a sudden, we're the good guys. It's the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome I've seen since Patty Hearst. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god. What a horrific machine.
Vic,
No.
Carmela.
shopping for a roller. Maybe someday I will be free. But if you had come that day, I might have done something that I would be sorry for forever. And so I wanted to thank you for thinking for the both of us,
That was quite ominous, actually.
for being strong for the both of us.
What do you mean someday you might be free?
Goodbye, Vic, and take care of yourself.
Okay, well that's good, actually.
Oh, thank Christ.
Eh.
Larry's out.
Oh, shit. Fuck. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Yeah, Bobby, take this. I can't.
Should have come in after lunch.
Let me think about this a while. But we can't be too fucked up by this setback. We gotta screw our courage to the post.
Boy, all Sopranos are tall, aren't they? Either that or Richie and everyone else is just short.
Gonna be good.
He couldn't fucking sell it. He's not respected. But Tony, with his impulsiveness and selfishness,
Oh.
he's locked up in that fucking head of his.
He has to choose a side, Tony or Richie.
I want to see Anthony at the doctor's office tomorrow. What are you looking at?
I'm in awe of you.
Oh, tonight, Puss, I got something hard edge.
What?
Pokemon cards. Me and Tommy Mac are taking down a truckload.
Yeah? Where?
Tommy knows. You in?
What, me?
Yeah, come on.
Oh my
hold
god,
on.
they're gonna
wanna
be
stop
shifting
up like
Pokemon
that.
cards?
Hey, Puss,
Yeah.
the fucking car?
What car? Oh, yeah, right. For Adriana. It's an M3 convertible. Clean. I'll keep you posted.
Thanks. He's trying to get information. All the feds are gonna be hearing about are Pokemon cards being shifted. You know the funny thing? That has not changed in 24 years. That's still...
You know what? Go fuck yourself then. Because I'm trying to be a nice guy. I went through a lot of trouble to get that number.
Why, so you can send me to a hospital? Lock me up?
Psychiatrist is very scary thing for Russian. Means being sent to Gulag. Political rehabilitation.
Oh, this is too fucked up for me.
You're in America now.
What?
They,
Kids off
don't have that. At least not a psychiatrist like he's seeing.
It's just sad. That's all.
What?
AJ didn't have the flu. He didn't go with you because Tony wouldn't let him. He doesn't want you around his kids.
What happened? What was that?
She's got a walkie-talkie. I love that they're now starting to push a bit of the comedy aspect of Livia.
5:16 a.m. Subjects departing Searchlight Diner.
What is he doing? He's following Chris? What is he doing? Oh! Jeez! I feel like there were 4 different ways out of that, man. Oh! That's a bad hit. It's bad on like 8 different occasions.
I love you.
You got the wrong fucking number. Don't call you again.
Why does she have your number, man? Ah!
I'll wait out there.
Okay, I saw her. But it's not what you think. She tried to commit suicide.
Oh, fuck you.
I broke it off with her and she tried to kill herself because she said she didn't want to go on without me. The poor kid.
That's gonna be a hard sell.
That man who did my wallpaper. There was a male person that you could respect. And
Victor Musto?
Meh.
Carmela, he didn't show up that day because of who your husband is. Face it. Use your head. He pissed his pants.
He's gonna take you out, and Larry Burries, and anybody else who doesn't go along.
Oh, wait a minute. Why the fuck is Richie telling you all this?
He thinks I'm with him.
Really? What gave him that idea?
It's what
Hey,
I wanted
come on,
him to
man.
believe.
It's-
I've been playing him. I seen this coming all along. That's why I made a big deal of that coke. I raised a non-issue, and he fell for it.
So you're like a double agent now, huh? Fucking Matt Helm?
Fuck you.
Just accept. Ah!
I'm grateful to you. I am. I gave you 5% on the action that was left of you. Kick it up to 7.5. Don't sell drugs on those routes. Short-sighted.
All right. Good.
You know that asshole's marrying my sister?
You gotta wonder where she is in all of this.
Meh.
My little niece.
What's up, T?
God, I love the way Sylvia walks into a room.
My future brother-in-law's causing a serious problem.
How serious?
Well, he's not satisfied with the current leadership. Must have me popped.
That's serious.
I genuinely don't think there's anything to gain by keeping him around.
Get it done.
Just wondering what we wanted to hear, Syl. You can always count on Syl and Polly.
He wouldn't miss an opportunity to fucking foxtrot and tango in front of everybody.
Ballroom dancing is a legitimate art form.
Carries my name, Richard. Fucking discatiad.
You know, why do you all do that?
I couldn't have a son like that.
Jackie has a son named Jackie. Richie has a son named, well, Rick. At least that's different. Anthony has a son named Anthony. Why do you guys do that? What's going on here?
But just because he's a ballroom dancer, you think your son is gay. And what if he was gay? What difference does it make?
Oh!
Ah.
Oh.
Fuck out of here. I'm in no mood for your...
Oh!
Ow.
Oh!
Where's everybody?
Well, that just kind of took care of itself.
All right, just stay right there. I'm gonna be right over. It's Janice.
right.
I gotta go.
It is Janice. Meh. You know what? You're not gonna need it. Unless you want to frame her and kill it while you're at it.
What did I tell you?
I didn't go with them. I was following them to the boost, and then I was gonna call you.
What if they would have spotted you? Huh?
I think they
The
did.
Montasante kid and his friend. You are not an FBI employee, Sal. Okay? That's not gonna happen.
But I got a lot to offer. And I hate LCN. I know I misspent most of my life. I know that. I know fucking A well. We live in a society of laws, and I got
We live in a society.
Hello.
Well, hey, now you know it was legitimate. Oh. Oh.
We're almost done.
It's gonna be a while before I eat anything from Satrialis.
Meh. Yeah.
Tony. Anthony, what are you doing here?
This is the first time they've met all
Come on,
season.
Janice, let's go. What kind of a fucking chance did she have with you as her mother? You're always nagging her about her weight. She goes out on a date, she comes home, you call her a fucking tramp.
I'm gonna wait out in the car.
Yeah, I'm out of this.
I heard you.
You make things up.
You don't have a fucking clue.
I wasn't always perfect, but I always tried to do the best I could. If you ask me, I did a pretty damn good job.
Oh, fuck this.
Oh, no.
Oh. You didn't say that.
Something new always comes along. I've seen it a million times. It's called Passages. You know, it's a book.
He's right, Rishka. He's very smart man.
Always take advice from Silvio. Oh, he's fucking sending her back.
I'm not gonna forget this, Tony. I owe you. God, do I owe you?
All in all, though, I'd say it was a pretty good visit.
What's wrong with our family, Tony?
I go to a shrink. Now, Ma's a person who was incapable of experiencing joy. And that, all he did was experience joy.
Richard told me you were going to a shrink. I used to suggest it, and you'd blow your stack at me.
Maybe you ought to think about it. Going back into therapy.
Now it's your turn.
What'd you do with him?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
All right. Go ahead.
And for the love of God, please never come back. Whew. I'm surprised he didn't have more grays after this season.
Janice decided to go back to Seattle.
You're kidding. Well, what about Richie? He must be devastated.
Oh, he took it really well.
Gone.
Well, what do you mean gone?
Gone.
Where?
Camilla, after 18
Down.
years of marriage, don't make me make you an accessory after the fact.
An accessory after...
Oh.
Holy shit. Oh, my God.
I took care of it.
There's one thing you can rely on Tony Soprano for, it's to clean something up.
That was not a marriage made in heaven.
Nope. Unlike this one.
After Meadows' graduation, me and Rosalie Priel are going to Rome. For 3 weeks.
Cool.
Excuse me?
And you've got to find a tennis clinic for Meadow to join. Because if I have to do it, Tony, I just might commit suicide.
Hmm. Oh. What a song choice. Oh. Good friggin' grief. Boy, you know? Kinda. I want to look something up real quick. I gotta remember, like, what exactly was the last 2 episodes of last season. I'll look that up. Let me just scrub the playlist real quick. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember if the stuff that went down was the finale or was the penultimate episode of last season, but it was the finale. Whereas this, we still have one more episode this season. But yeah, this really took the Game of Thrones idea of, we'll have the climax be in the penultimate episode and then the finale. Although I could be wrong. We could still do crazy stuff, but I don't know how you get crazier than this episode, man. Well, that problem has resolved itself. Like, they were gonna... I was prepared. I was prepared, man. I was prepared, and then... That's just over. Okay. Season 1, I'm now going to call the Civil War arc, because that was the conflict between Tony and June, as well as the conflict between Tony and Livia. So I'm going to call that the Civil War arc. This season is the Richie Janice arc. I'm kind of amazed that that's just over now, you know? Last season, they wrapped things up in a way where I was kind of like, obviously, yes, they can go on to another season. Obviously, they did. But at the end of last season, I was kind of looking around, and I was like, I wonder if they kind of tied it up so that in case they didn't get a second season, they could be like, well, it's a good enough story through and through, And I think it still was. And now, we still got next episode for this season. We still got one more episode. But I'm sitting here like, oh, we kind of did that again. The things that were introduced at the beginning of the season are now resolved. And maybe that's just because I'm used to, I'm used to Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul that don't fully wrap up everything in a season, They kind of do, kind of don't. Mostly don't. Like in Breaking Bad, everything with Gus, that was multiple seasons, there is story arcs between seasons, obviously, but, the whole thing with Gus was, multiple seasons, and then, you have everything in the final season, which was so friggin' long, because it had extra episodes. But, and then even Better Call Saul, Better Call Saul doesn't even, it has multiple arcs, either with Chuck or with Lalo, so that's kind of the thing. Whereas this is like, hey, we're going to introduce something at the beginning of the season, and it's going to be done by the end of the season. And you'd think that wouldn't be a weird thing, but I guess it's just because of the other shows that I watch, Like, I'm not used to it anymore. I'm not used to an arc resolving, basically, Heck, even just some, even some, anime I watch. Like, I was watching this anime from the past anime season, and there was a whole thing about, the student council election. By the end of the season, they hadn't had the election yet, and I was just like, you telling me I have to come back to another season? Which I didn't even really care for that show, so I'm just not gonna come back. But it's like the whole season was about the student council election, and then it just didn't resolve by the end of it. And it's like, oh, come back in season 2. It's like, fucking season 2? It's a student council election. Why does this have to take so friggin' long? So that's the thing. That's the thing. So with this, I'm genuinely caught off guard. I also just couldn't have expected that. I don't know why. I kind of thought we'd have Richie for a while, but nope. That's it. Richie's dead. Richie's dead, and, there's always a part of me, the tiniest, minute little piece of my mind that's like, God, what if he was immortal? That'd be funny. What if he just, while he was just laying there, bullets in him, he just came up like Captain Jack, And obviously that wouldn't happen. But it'd be interesting. Or, she missed all his vital organs. She got him in the head, though, so no. But I wonder if the trip was... Well, no, because they had two different angles of it. I was going to say, what if the trip was when Tony tripped walking out of the house? I wonder if that was just a mistake that they just left in. But I don't think so, Because they got two different angles of it, so... I don't know. It's I don't know, whatever. I do like at the end when he's defending Janice and calling out Livia, Because that's the thing. It's whatever problems he had with his sister, honestly, they don't extend much further than being his sister, Sure, they had their disagreements, but it was never terrible, Where with Richie, it was always, Richie, it kept escalating. It was about to escalate even further. and with Livia and June, these things escalate, but but yeah, if it's between giving Janice crap and giving, like, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, she's his little sister, and he's gonna take care of her. Try to keep her away from this stuff, I don't know if it's, like, even fully, like, sunk in yet that Richie's dead, A major character. Pretty much where the conflict of the whole season came from. He's dead. And the fact that it was so sudden, too. And it wasn't even Tony taking him out like he was going to, Like, they were starting to make some plans, but no. But, I mean, like, that punch he did on Janice, that was pretty bad. And she killed him. Time to go back to Seattle. And I'm just going to assume that's the end of Janice. Like, I don't really see her coming back. I don't know. I mean, and even, like, other problems, like, it's like, oh, Richie's boy. You had Rick, and you had, his nephew, little Jackie Jr., which, why do you all name them after yourself? And it's weird, too, which I guess Corrado, he's always called Junior, so their father was named Corrado. But Johnny had a different name, and Johnny didn't call his son Johnny. I don't know, whatever. I mean, that's just kind of a thing. It's like, I don't fully, like, I'll never, like, chastise. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because so many characters now in this show have done this, but, like, I mean, like, look, if you give your kid your name, whatever, that's fine. But it is just something I question of just, like, I'll question, well, not criticize. Like, if you want to do that, well, whatever, go ahead. But I am going to be like, you want to come up with something else? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But, I mean, with, like, with, Richie's kid and, his nephew and stuff, it's like, oh, what are they going to do? And I was like, but they were going to lose Richie anyway, because they were going to kill Richie anyway. It's just that we've escalated, we've moved this up by a little bit, And what's going on with Puss? What's going on with Puss? What is wrong with him? 1 minute, it's exactly like the freaking agent said. It's like 1 minute, 1 minute he's sticking with Tony to his dying day. The other, he's trying to just completely throw the book at him. They're like, what's going on? I do love, though. It's like, oh, in the year 2000, what's a big, like, thing that you can steal and sell for good money? Pokemon cards. That is still a thing. Do you know how many news stories? Like, I watch a podcast about card games. For the first half of the podcast, they focus on Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that's where their expertise lies. But they do talk about a bunch of other card games and stuff, and tech news and gaming and stuff like that. But on this podcast, it is amazing how consistent there is a story they bring up about Pokemon cards being stolen. And sometimes stolen violently, too. So it's just like 24 years later, and it's like, yeah, Pokemon, that's still a hot commodity, I don't know how I can talk about the rest of this stuff, Because, I mean, there's everything with Carmilla. It's like Carmilla's all, upset that Tony was still seeing the girl, Irina, or whatever her full name was. And it's just like, Carmilla, I'm sorry that this is happening to you. Quite frankly, I don't care enough, though. I have not cared that much this season. I don't know, man. And the whole thing, too, of like, oh, I had a respectable man. That Vic guy, he was a respectable man. And I'm so glad for her friend just being like, no, the reason he didn't come see you again is because he figured out who your husband is. Like, he pissed his pants. Like, it's just de-spelling that. I like now, though, that it's like, alright, focus on your friends, you know? Her and Jackie Aprile are going to Rome. Well, that's cool. That's great, you know? You're gonna go to Italy. You're gonna go see the Holy Father. Who was it in 2000? Did we look this up? Because they referenced the Pope like a couple episodes ago when Chris was shot. Alright. It was John Paul II. 1920 to 2005. Well, I assume that's how long he lived. Yeah. Pope John Paul II. Yeah, he was the head of the Catholic Church and sovereign of the Vatican City-State from 1978 until his death in 2005. Yeah. He was succeeded by Benedict the 16th. He died in 2022, but he was the one that resigned. I remember that was a big deal that he resigned. He's like the first one in like 600 years to resign or something. It was crazy. And now we got Francis. So, yeah, okay. His resignation was the first by a pope since Gregory the 12th in 1415. And the first on a pope's initiative since Celestine V in 1294. Wow. That's freaking crazy, man. Anyway, I guess I was trying to think, like, okay, what is there to talk about with Reen, whatever. What is there to talk about with her? Because it's like, oh, you know, Tony cares enough to try to help her, you know, and like you gave her $75,000, and you're trying to get her a job and stuff like that. It's like, you know what? I think this episode just shows Tony is good at like cleaning things up, you know, which is strange. Like, you wouldn't think he would be, but I think honestly he is. I think that is one of his strengths. Like, and not even something of like, although I guess you could even say like cleaning up even in his own, you know, crew basically, because, or cleaning up within the mafia, because, you know, he cleaned up on June, you know, he was going to clean up on Richie, and then he had to clean up on Richie, but I think just like, even just at a base level, it's like, I think Tony is good at cleaning things up. Maybe not messes he creates, you know? But, like, when things are done, I guess that's it. It's not that he can take care of a situation, you know? He can't take care of an ongoing situation, but if it's stopped, and the only thing to do is just clean up now, like, that's where he is, you know? So, for Reen, he's, you know, cleaned things up, he's separated from her, he's given her things to get her back on her way, you know, after, and hey, you know, he's paying for this stuff for her treatment after she tries to kill herself and stuff, you know, so you know, hopefully she gets back on her feet and has a good friggin' life, but then even, yeah, at the end, where it's like, you know, like, Tony with, like, no problems, pretty much, you know, goes in, is calm, you know, assesses the situation, calls Chris and Furio, they clean everything up, and it's all done and dusted, you know? Like, there's literally no evidence of a crime, no police called, you know. As far as anyone's going to be concerned, Richie is just missing, just MIA, you know? Nothing to connect back to Janice, and she's on her way. You know, the police are never going to go to Janice, you know? Now she can go clean up her life again, you know? Oh, Jiminy Christmas, man. So, if, like, that may be, like, one of the few things Tony can do is just clean up, you know? Even, like, you know, with Bevilacqua, you know? Like, they went in, they cleaned up, and there were no more problems. I mean, the witness was a problem for a little bit, but that was about it, you know? How long have I been talking? I've been talking a while, haven't I? I've been talking like 20 minutes, I think. Hey, June made the right choice. That was also interesting. I did like that. You know, June... Because, like, we've kind of been thinking, like, oh, okay, so this is how... Or at least I've been thinking, okay, so this is how June is still, like, you know, in the you know, still having a conflict with Tony. That really wasn't it. That really wasn't it. It was really just Richie. Like, I may have been viewing this season wrong this whole time. I don't know. But I like at the end where, you know, he's literally weighing his options. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, he's got a lot of moxie. But that's it, you know? It's like he couldn't make the sell and to Larry Barisi. And now, you know, now he's out and he's like, if Richie can't do that, that's pretty bad. You know, Tony is a mess. But Tony is a mess, you know? Which honestly, I think that's very valid. Is that, well, yes, it is a problem. You know, that's a knock against Tony, but Tony is a mess. Everything else works out. You know, he's got his crew, he's got everything. He ensures, June is still getting his money. You know, so it's like, you know, June looks at both of those options. You know, and he decided to side with Tony, which is interesting. You know. I mean, it's someone who at least has the foundations, you know? He has the network, he has the operation, he still has it all there. Versus someone who is struggling to get anything going, basically. Even with all of his problems, he went with Tony. And I like that conversation, you know, because Tony initially is pissed. It's like, oh, you were gonna go against me with Rich, but as he kept going, it's like, no, that's not it. Like, even if he doesn't fully believe that, oh, June was playing Richie that whole time, you know? Like, I think he does trust, like, okay, he probably knows, like, he probably understands that June was choosing between him and Richie, but he understands he chose him. He chose Tony, you know? So that was interesting. And for that, he's getting a little bump on his old stuff. And again, you can sell your freaking coke. You can sell your cocaine. Just do it away from the garbage routes. That's all Tony asks, you know? So. Oh, boy. What are we doing next episode? What are we possibly doing next episode? I have no idea, but boy, I am curious. I am so curious. But that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Sopranos reactions, as well as another playlist video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.